All right, here's situation number 2 with the suspension. The bed is crooked. It's not sitting level. It's way higher in the back on the passenger side. And I can see by looking at the relation of the leaf spring to the bolt, the shock bolt, that the springs are either stiffer on this side or something. I've jumped up and down on it, I've done everything. Are stiffer to where the suspension is riding higher on the passenger side, which is causing the bed to look warped. I was originally just shimming the bed out, and then I realized that the bed was no longer straight to the frame because I put this nice little nifty frame rail here on the back for my license plate and junk. And I'm like, okay, so that's not right. So why the hell is it riding higher on this side? So now that's a new issue to have to be dealt with. Now to figure out how to get the suspension to drop, you know, a little lower on this side. Because now I'm starting to think where I thought, you know, when I scienced all the suspension crap out, I thought this was going to ride a little lower. It might. It might, because this might actually be riding too high as a result of the suspension being hung up or something going on over here. Because what's going to happen is now when my new fender comes later today, from LMC, I'm going to put the fender on this side and I'm going to be like, wow, it's actually riding exactly, the height is exactly where I want it on this side. And it's going to be an issue on this side. So now, you know, everything's tight, everything's bolted where it needs to be, everything's the way it's supposed to be. For one reason or another, the spring is stiffer on this side. And I have to figure out how to rectify that. You know, the bushings are equally shot on both sides, obviously, so that's, you know, the bushings on the front of the leaf springs are getting pushed out anyways because of the Caltrax bars. So now I have to figure out what the story is there and how to balance this crap out. I'd hate to have to buy new leaf springs because that would just be a super pain in the ass, but, you know, what else can I do at this point? I gotta do what I gotta do. So, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with here now. Just more bullshit to have to deal with. I don't know if any of you other guys, if you're watching this and have these trucks, have had similar issues. This is not something I even bothered to check when I had the old bed on here. I threw this one on figuring everything's square. I just threw it on. That was fine. But that's what I'm starting to think. Now, obviously, I will tell you that there is a shim still on the front there to make, you see the ribbing in the back of the truck there, to balance out the front because it wasn't sitting equal on the front either. So that's actually shimmed out right now until I get my crossbar put in there to make that right. You know, just a lot of dickering around with little piddly crap, stuff that's not, you know, making the truck go down the road. Just little stupid stuff with this suspension. But I mean, if there's anything to be learned from these videos that I'm doing from a guy like me, is that nothing ever goes simple. You know, even the simplest of jobs can be complicated for just unforeseen reasons, just stuff you can't, you know, be ready for. It just happens, and you just got to deal with it when it happens. You know, it kind of sucks, but that's it, you know, that's the story. And this is what I'm coming up with. This is the issues I'm having, and, you know, see if you guys have ever encountered this stuff, you know, yourselves. All right, that's enough of this crap. Let me keep working at it. All right. After much measuring with my trusty yardstick, what I have discovered is that the distance from the height of different areas on this bed to the ground, and the height of the, you know, chassis to the, you know, to the rear end, everything's straight on the bed. It's actually not the bed that's off. I mean, it's off a little bit here because I put a couple of washers trying to shim it, but the bed's actually straight. The cab is crooked. The cab is crooked. After I sat here and I kept dicking around, how can this be? The measurements all sync up. How can this thing still be off? Doesn't make any sense. Even though I looked underneath and the position of the springs and stuff to the shock mount seemed a little off, it's still, I'm measuring all the way around, everything's straight. So then I come over here and I measure the bottom of the truck here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like an eighth. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 11 3/8. And then we come over here and measure. And you can see it's closer to like 11 1/8. You know, it's way lower on this side. So it's got to be a body bushing issue that's causing the body to sit off. It's not straight. So here I am thinking it's the bed the whole time. I'm dicking around with the bed over and over again, and it had nothing to do with the bed. It has to do with the body bushings being worn out. So that might be an easy project I can do right now by myself here in the garage. Replace the worn out body bushings and get this sucker sitting even again. So that's something that should be done anyway. So hopefully that'll rectify this problem. All right, guys, just wanted to give an update on what my findings were. All right, combination of shimming out the bed, cab, frame, suspension, everything. But I believe I've got it pretty damn straight now, all the way through and through. Final alignment, final set of the rear wheel well. It's pretty damn good.